What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we have the weekly reset preview for Destiny 2. And this is the reset kicking off January 24th. And so this week the main season quest is paused as we await the season finale. So we'll discuss what that means, plus we'll round up some extra news details. And then in game we have new weekly challenges, featured activities, and the Nightfall weapon. Plus, as always, we'll cover the other core content, including raids and playlists, and vendors like the Eververse store for this week. So, as always, I hope you find the breakdown helpful today, but without further delay, let's get into it. The first thing that we should mention is that the weekly quest is now wrapped up, and so all of the main stages have been released. However, last week Bungie did confirm that there will be a season finale in the last 2 weeks of Season of the Seraph. And it looks like that'll consist of a new quest as well as an activity, and all players who've completed the More Than a Weapon quest will get access to that when it drops. So if you're after a definitive end of the season, it looks like it'll be in that last couple of weeks before LIGHTFALL drops. Moving to the reset this week though, and we are going to see a fairly major mid-season update, and some of the bigger general changes include that blues will no longer drop at the soft cap. So Bungie said when you reach the soft cap for gear, blue engrams will stop dropping in the world, and the equivalent amount of additional glimmer baubles will spray out instead. And so at the soft cap, we'll no longer have to worry about blues knocking stuff out of postmasters, and it's going to reduce the amount of gear management we need to do after playing. On top of that, Bungie have said that they're adjusting all other gunsmith reputation gains by plus 25% to compensate for removing gunsmith reputation from dismantling blue gear. So that should offset that a little bit. And then Bungie have also said that in response to player feedback, they're bringing back Rumble to the Crucible screen as a permanent fixture. And so that playlist will no longer simply be a rotator. And on top of that, they say catalyst quests for Year 3 Season Pass exotics like Ariana's Vow, Symmetry, and Tommy's Matchbook will now benefit from the Season Pass boosts like other exotic catalyst quests. And on top of that, any seasonal ritual playlist activity will count towards ritual progress for all Season Pass exotic catalyst quests. And finally, for the overall changes, for any folks who still want to pick up any of the exotic glaives from Witch Queen. And so once you unlock the recipe for the first exotic glaive, they say the other class recipes can be purchased by your other characters from the evidence board. And so we only have to hunt one pattern down now, which is positive. But on top of that, there are a bunch of ability adjustments, a few changes for weapons, and a couple of other minor fixes which will be dropping in the update this week. So as always, I'll be sure to keep you posted on those. Moving on though, we do have new season challenges for week 8, and so initially we've got Seraph's Shield 3 to complete the exotic mission Operation Seraph Shield on Legend difficulty, and to defeat combatants with precision damage anywhere in the system using pulse rifles. In addition to that, there is Flawless Heists to complete Heist Battlegrounds in the playlist or Legend playlist without dying, and it requires 3 of those. Then there is Umbral Focusing 3 to focus Ikelos weapon engrams at the exo frame and the helm, in addition to Seraph's Calibration to get kills with pulse rifles, fusion rifles, and power grenade launchers, with rapid defeats and guardian kills awarding bonus progress. And then the final couple of challenges this week include the Gambit ornament for the Velazek's pulse rifle, and of course that's the season weapon available from Shax the Drifter and Zavala. And lastly, there is Trial by Firing Squad to win multiple rounds in the Trials of Osiris. And getting 20 rounds right there will reward a Trials weapon. So a bonus weapon drop will be available for Trials this weekend. For other activities though, initially with the Vanguard, the featured Nightfall for this week will be the Scarlet Keep. And the featured weapon alongside that for Nightfalls will be Horror's Least. And on top of this, of course, we now have access to Grandmaster Nightfalls. Additionally though, the featured endgame activities this week include the Deepstone Crypt, as well as the Prophecy Dungeon, and both of these, as always, have all of their unique items, but have been updated for the season. But that takes us to the Eververse store for the week, and featured for Bright Dust this week, we'll see the Dance Off Exotic emote. As always, these are expensive, that is 3,250 Bright Dust, but for 2,500 Bright Dust, we can pick up the Winning Streak Exotic Sparrow. And additionally, there is the Vex Incursion entrance, a legendary transmat effect there for 450 Bright Dust. And the featured shader this week will be Neopop Wave. But then we have the Camping Exotic emote, which is 3,250 Bright Dust once again. Plus we have the legendary emote, the Dastardly Stash, and that one's available for 700 Bright Dust this week. There'll also be the Standout Pose Rare emote, which will be 400 Bright Dust, and then the featured exotic Sparrow here, which is M3D1 Angelos. and that will be 2,500 bright dust. But additionally, we're going to see the boots from the Eververse Arc Armor set this season, and they'll be available for all 3 classes, costing 1,200 bright dust each. Then there's a new exotic weapon ornament, this time for Trinity Ghoul, and it's the 3 glowing Dawns ornament, which is going to cost 1,250 bright dust. But very finally, we have the Ghost projection, which is the Nemean projection here, for 1,500 bright dust this week. For the featured Lost Sectors this week, on Tuesday's reset, we'll get Concealed Void. This will be dropping exotic helmets. Then on January 25th, it'll be Perdition, dropping exotic legs. Followed by Sepulture on January 26th, dropping exotic gauntlets. Then on January 27th, it'll be Extraction, dropping exotic chest pieces. January 28th, we'll see the Chamber of Starlight in the Dreaming City, dropping helmets. Then for January 29th, it'll be Aphelion's Rest, dropping exotic legs. And finally for January 30th, we'll see K1 Logistics dropping exotic arms. For Dares of Eternity though, right here, in addition to all of the curated Dares loot, the extra world drops this week will include the Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfinder armor set. This is rotation 4 loot drops. And so we'll also see some weapons from Season of the Lost, and a couple featured from Forsaken. But finally, if it's the Ascendant Challenger after this week, it'll be the Forfeit Shrine, which is accessed via the Garden of Isilla. But if you want some gameplay of the location for that one, we will run it at the end of the video. Otherwise though, for today, that is everything we have to round up in the reset. So as always, I hope this one's been useful guys, and if it has, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you up to date with everything related to Destiny 2. But otherwise, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome day.
Down. Guardian down. Guardian down.